Make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level. Second level gaming. Second level.
What's up, guys, and welcome to Level 2 VR. Happy Friday, and this week we had a bunch of interesting kind of news and factoids that came in. But first off, let's start with the new games this week. By the way, Keegan's back with me. The new games are okay. So we have Fates, the Silent Oath, which is allegedly only an hour-long experience in the Viking realm. And it looks kind of like it's a first-person. There's elements of, like, RPGism.
I thought, when I first saw it, like, glance, without looking at the trailer or anything, just what the description said, I was thinking, like, obviously it's not going to be the size of Elder Scrolls, but I was thinking, like, an Elder Scrolls, maybe Fable-style game was my initial impression. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, no.
It's like medieval. You do get to do some light puzzling. You do get to interact with people. The graphic style is almost similar to Werewolves Within, I thought, in terms of they're a little bit cartoony.
Yeah.
But it's only $10. So, but it is an hour-long thing. I picked it up just because I like that type of thing where you get
pick up
to
every
be,
VR game, let's be
not
honest.
all of them. I've been a little good lately, but for $10, I'll pick it up. I'll play it, sure. So yeah, that's what we have going on for kind of the breakthrough one. The other one we've been talking about for a couple weeks, and that's Korix, Korix. Korix is $20. That's the final price on it. It does have a bunch of DLC available too. There's like helmets and things like
costumes
that.
And shit.
Yeah, you know, typical jazz, much like Battlezone. But Korix is the game that initially was announced as being the first VR game to be 120 Hz and have this kind of incredible refresh rate. So we'll get to finally see if that's true or not. So Korix is out today.
And they have to hold that.
And if it can hold that for without dropping anything. So that's the exciting one. We do have a couple of deals as well for VR this week on Sony's PSVR. Eagle Flight and Werewolves Within. They were on sale previously last week. I think the prices are adjusted a tiny bit. If not, then at least know they are still currently on sale.
Fun fact, David bought me that for my birthday, which was, I guess, 3 weeks ago now? Something like that, 4 weeks ago? I don't remember. I mean, I know what my birthday is, but I can't math. And then it went on sale like 2 days later, and he's like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, that's how it always happens. Like, I bought NBA 2K17 and then it went on sale a week later. I was like, really?
The sales come thick and fast.
Yes.
in
which is good.
world.
Which is good, but
it is good, but it does have the thing. Me and Jordan were joking about this the other day because I've been quite obsessed in Mass Effect, and he's like, yeah, I'll buy it when it's on sale for $20 in 2 weeks. I was like, you fuck.
It's true. It's like Ghost Recon. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't play Ghost Recon, start playing Ghost Recon, and David just bought it when it was on sale, and I was like, I didn't play it until it went on sale, but I bought it, pre-ordered it because I was going to play
sale
it
pretty quick.
At launch. So.
Yeah. So our sales are Eagle Flight, which I haven't played, but I do own.
You own it.
That's $28.
Ubisoft. They're both the Ubisoft.
They're both Ubi, I think.
they're both Ubi.
Which maybe Ubi's just having a sale this
Which
week.
Ubi likes us, I've learned.
Oh, good.
They followed us on Twitter, I believe.
I saw the Ubisoft VR retweeted us.
Yep, we were talking about them.
Eagle Flight, $28 down from $40, and then of course the game you were talking about before, Werewolves Within, $21 down from $30.
Can I talk about that?
Sure, go ahead, because you played it.
Yeah,
and I still haven't, so go ahead.
So first things first, we talk about our PSVR group all the time. I went into that group and kind of said, hey, I'm about to play this game for the first time. What do you guys recommend as a new player getting in? Because it's a social game. You literally have to be in game chat, which I never am, and have to talk to random people. And I was like, so as a newbie going in, what do you guys recommend I should do? And the big one was make sure you kind of understand the rules and understand how to win the game. Like, other than that, you'll learn as you go along, people will explain and all this kind of stuff, and which is the truth. The cool thing, during my gameplay session, me and David started our own private server so we could be together, which is really weird because if you ever switch a server, your character changes. So, like, David started as one dude and ended up being another dude because we had to switch servers every so often to get a match. But in the game, it was a lot of fun. Basically, if you don't know what Werewolves Within, it's who done it.
It's a tabletop game.
Yeah, you got to figure out.
You have to figure out
who's the werewolf.
Yeah.
So the ways you win. I'm gonna knock this thing over. I'm gonna karate chop it. The ways you win is there's the townsfolk, there's werewolf, there's a saint, and a deviant, or the four major, I guess, factions or whatever the hell you want to call them. So the townfolk, their job is to vote for the werewolf at the end. The werewolf's job is to not get voted. That makes sense? Got it so far? Then there is the saint. The werewolves want to kill the saint.
So they have to convince people that the saint is the werewolf.
They have to know who the saint is. Yes. Well, the werewolves have to vote consensus on the saint. The other townsfolk don't have to. It's only the werewolves have to vote.
So it's
for
a
the
mixture
saints.
of werewolves,
Yes.
not just one.
There could be up to 3.
Okay.
Depending on the size of party. And then there's a deviant, which I love this role. I think it's a really cool role. Is basically you want to convince people that you are the werewolf and you want to be voted, even though you're not.
But wouldn't they instantly know the second you were like, vote for me, I'm a werewolf? That
But you don't say.
weren't
You got to be subtle about it. So what? One of the strategies that came involved is there's different the power roles. So there's one called the Watcher, which basically means if you say, so the way all games start is you go around the circle and you say what you are. Some roles you want to say, some roles you don't. So if you're a werewolf, you don't want to be like, I'm a werewolf. You want to lie. So there's a book that tells you how many potential roles there are of each, and then the people go around and will say what role they are. And we had one where 2 people said, I was a Watcher, and the person next to me said they were a Watcher, and I go, bullshit, because I knew I was the Watcher, but now I have to convince the rest of the group that I'm indeed the Watcher, not the person next to me.
Gotcha.
And they ended up being a werewolf, and I was like, I knew it. I should have. But it's also like, are they the werewolf or are they the deviant? So you got to keep that in mind because there's a deviant inside our book here.
Could be playing 4D chess.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
it's really interesting. It's a fun game. At first, it was like learning the roles, and me and Dave want you to play at some point because it's a lot of fun. We're also trying to convince somebody else to pick it up because I think you need 6 to play a game, which is not that hard to find. It is cross-platform.
$21. Friends of ours that watch this show,
yeah,
pick it up.
It's cross-platform as well. So we played. There's 5 of us on PSVR. 1 was on Oculus, and then we switched groups, and there was 3 on PC between Oculus and Vive, and then PSVR.
Nice.
Lots of new players.
So potentially, because I heard that it's slowed down match-wise,
so
but I guess if you have all 3 VR headsets, then you're more likely to find
recommend you keep they're in the options. You have the ability to turn on and off the cross-play matchmaking. Keep that on. Even with that on, we had moments where we had to sit there for 5 minutes to find a game. Because trying to find players is not an easy thing to do. But as of right now, this is my favorite PSVR game. I played it, me and David at one point, it was before we were streaming on Sunday, I looked at the clock and I was like, we've been playing this for like 4.5 hours without noticing it. And you're like, we joked afterwards, like, VR needs a clock somewhere in the headset so you can tell what time it is. But I
heard that you can sync time into that game quite easily without realizing it.
There was one, my favorite, and David will probably vouch with this, but David was having headset issues, and he walked away, and his headset he actually disconnected the cable because he'd got wrapped up and all. Because the game has a syncing issue where every so often, like, I had to recenter myself. It automatically just would shift me this way, so I had to recenter it every time, and he didn't. He was in a spinning chair, so it thought he was spinning versus centering. And at one point, he disconnected his headset, and he started doing, like, exorcism shit next to us, like, because you can see the model just freaking out. And he comes back, and we're all like, the whole group's like, he's a werewolf, he's a werewolf. And Mackers, who's one of the guys we were playing with, he's like, we should just vote. I was like, let's just vote David a werewolf.
Was he a werewolf?
We didn't vote him, but he was a werewolf, so it would have been great if that, because I talked to him afterwards.
That would have worked out.
It would have been beautiful if that had actually happened, because he was like, damn it, I was actually, and he's like, I think the reason we didn't was because the other guy who wanted to do it was a werewolf as well. He didn't want to lose, which, whatever. But I highly recommend it. Like I said, turn on the cross-platform, make sure that's on, and go to the PSVR group. A couple people there were like, yeah, we'll play with you in the future. First few games are a bit weird because you don't know what's happening, and I think you need that one person because a lot of the players were new or claimed to be new.
Well, do you want to throw out your
level 2
PlayStation
gamers
ID? Yeah,
level 2 gamers.
Yeah,
level number 2.
Gamers. So if you add that account and you like Werewolves Within, we'll play with.
I just got me some new headsets too, so I have the new fancy platinum headphones to
Wolves
play with.
Can't buy headsets.
Yeah, but no, it's one of those games. Like I said, my favorite PSVR game. I sunk a lot of time into it. Just be careful when you are playing. I started getting a headache partway through.
Yeah, that's just
make
VR
sure.
in
Yeah,
general.
well, I'm saying make sure that you do take breaks because it is It is
easy
painful.
to sync time.
So.
Awesome. So that's about as good as a recommendation as you're going to get for Werewolves Within. $21 on sale. There you go. So moving on to the news part of VR this week. There's some interesting stuff, and there's some stuff, I'm not going to lie, I don't know how to explain. I'm just not that smart when it comes to some of this VR stuff. So this is news I wanted to tell you about, and I'm going to read it as it's pronounced. But I understand that I do not know what this means. So if you do know what this means, please let us know.
So you're pulling a Big Bang Theory where an actor's saying a lot of gibberish. And like,
yeah, exactly. And I know that it is potentially a good thing.
We'll tell you what we think.
It's more by the implication.
We'll tell you what we think it means.
It's the implication. So new Sony patent points to inside-out tracking for VR headsets. This is a particularly big piece of news because for more reasons than the fact that we're looking at inside-out tracking. Now, first of all, what is inside-out tracking? I don't fucking know. We tried to figure it out. We've been both banging our heads over this. Here's the quote. Methods, systems, and computer programs are provided for generating an interactive space. One method includes operations for associating a first device to a reference point in 3D space and for calculating by the first device a position of the first device in the 3D space based on inertial information captured by the first device and utilizing dead reckoning. Further, the method includes operations for capturing images with a camera of the first device and for identifying locations of one or more static features in the images. The position of the first device is corrected based on the identified locations of one or more static features, and a view of an interactive scene is presented in a display of the first device, where the interactive scene is tied to the reference point and includes virtual objects. So, our best guess for this is it sounds like they're talking about being fully interactive with 3D space. That meaning that you have your headset on, but when you walk around, like physically walk around, your character physically walks around, as opposed to you having to like press a left stick or whatever to move. When you pick up an object, like it's in 3D space, so like if you see a box in front of you, you can physically walk to it in the room, lift it up. Now that's going to cause problems for people with rooms the size that I have, but the more bigger implication of this, I think, is if this is not already included, this is not a firmware update. This is something that's going to require a new headset. Agreed?
Kind of. So, from what I'm gathering from this, with my pea-sized brain, is this reminds me a lot of what the Vive is doing with the satellite cameras. To be able to... So in the Vive, if you guys don't know, in the HTC Vive, you basically go around with the controller and you go boop, 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 here's my room. And it knows how big your room is, it scales the game to that room. So two things could happen with this. One, it could be a whole new headset with new tracking technology. I don't know what the technology is. They don't specify what it actually is. The second thing would be potentially being able to connect another device, whether that's another PlayStation camera maybe behind you, which is what the Vive does. The Vive does a camera up here.
There are lights on the back of
back
the...
there. Yes.
So
the tracking...
Morpheus, yeah.
So the tracking device is there. The question is that the technology they're using in something like this? If they're using the same technology with like the move lights and all that kind of stuff, then cool. It's you just put another camera or another capture device. The problem I have there is if it's USB, I have two USB ports on my PS4. I have two USB ports being taken off my PS4, one by the VR headset, one by my controller, or by my headset.
How do you play that game? Interesting.
By my controller.
So what do you think if it means a new headset?
I think it's too soon.
You think so?
Yeah. I think right now you have to keep the headsets around for, I mean, what has it been? Not even a year?
Yeah, close.
Not even been a year yet?
Not a full year.
Yeah. I think the headsets have to be around 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Before they do a new one.
It's a big ask, isn't it? Monetarily, it's a big ask.
That's what my thought. And I'm thinking they can iterate. Like, one of the things Oculus did recently is they now have the Oculus Touch controllers. I think that's fine. I think peripherals are fine to add. I think the gun that they're bringing out with Farpoint is fine to add. I think asking somebody to buy a new headset is not okay.
Especially considering the early adopters are the reason why this is so successful.
Yes, that's my concern. But that being said, this is only patent. Who knows?
It could take years.
Yeah, who knows where it's at? Who knows that kind of thing.
But it's an interesting piece of news, I thought. And it's kind of, it's definitely like, if it is something they can implement with the current generation, awesome.
Yeah.
If it does require a new headset, it would be disappointing.
Say this is 4 years down the road, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, 4 years.
If this is this E3, which I doubt it will be, then I'm not.
But it's a good patent that they have called for here, and if it works out, I don't personally have enough space to deal with something like this.
I do. You know, my favorite games are the ones where I stand up and move around, like because I get way more immersed doing that than I do sitting down because I like.
I just like it to be dark and quiet.
Yeah,
if it's dark and quiet, I can get immersed. But if I have to move around,
like Werewolves Within, like you can stand up and you can lean, all that kind of stuff, but you have the ability to actually move. But you also, like a game like Job Simulator, you have the ability to use the moves and move around. Because to me, Job Simulator is very limited if you can't stand up. It's like, oh, I'm reaching and I got this, but I want to actually keep going. Well, there's the edge of my room. Okay, the edge of my room matches the edge of what I can reach to, and there's a counter here in front of me and that kind of stuff. So I think VR, for me personally, is going to be those experiences where I can move around my room in a safe manner. And I think right now the problem PSVR has is there's no way to measure out your room. So if the game doesn't work, the game doesn't work.
Tethered for PSVR, so
they're all tethered. But
yeah,
the tether's
but
pretty
I'd
long.
like to see a point where we can get untethered. It could happen. It'll take a while.
It'll take a long time because you have to think other things on top of that. Is battery life.
Yeah,
your battery life would be garbage.
That's true.
Because you're running a whole computer on your head.
What if there was just a way to not have to be tethered to the console, but maybe tethered to something you could attach to yourself, like some kind of a battery?
Have you seen the hooks that go to the ceiling?
No, I haven't seen that.
There's one, I can't remember who makes them, but it's basically it's a hook that takes I'm going to call it the umbilical cord that's attached to you, and then you just run along the ceiling and down, so it's going up instead of, and you just leave enough slack that if you move around, the only concern with that is if you go too far,
you're
going to pull stuff.
Interesting. All right, so that's a pretty interesting patent there filed by Sony for inside-out tracking, so I thought it was worth mentioning that. The next big news, and this is big depending on who you are. Now, this is something we've brought up at least once or twice here on the show, and it is concerning the game Summer Lessons. Summer Lessons, if you don't know, is a kind of a Japanese schoolgirl tutor game, which is apparently a popular genre in, where else? Japan. But it's going to get an English release. Now, that's not a North American release as of yet, but that's an English release. So Summer Lessons Miyamoto Hikari will launch in English for PlayStation VR in Southeast Asia on April 27th, Bandai Namco announced, which means that there will be a fully fledged English version of it available, and I guess depending on how that version does in Southeast Asia will depend on if we see something like that in North America. So the game will be available digitally as well as in a package bundle edition that includes the main game in addition to the downloadable content. So everything in the package bundle edition, if you're ready. Summer Lessons Miyamoto Hikari 7 Days Room, that's the main game. Summer Lesson Miyamoto Hikari Second Feel, which is slightly dodgy name. Yeah. Summer Lesson Miyamoto Hikari Day Out. Summer Lesson Miyamoto Hikari Extra Scene, Cafe, Outfit and Situation. And Summer Lesson Miyamoto Hikari Extra Scene Grand Fireworks, Outfit and Situation. So you can actually watch trailers for the downloadable content online as well as the main game, but it is a bizarre looking game. But yeah, that's going to be available in English finally. So for those of you, it is region free, I believe, the PlayStation 4 now. So you could order that game if you wanted to from that region and play it in English if that's your thing. Otherwise, though, you'll be waiting for the North American release if it ever happens, and it's not something that we've had any word on yet. Your thoughts on that?
I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at another news article here.
Okay, do you have some more news to add?
So this is,
Go for it.
I was looking up, because this is the same site we were on before with that quote, because I don't have the quote pulled up and read it, so I could read along with you.
Sure.
But this says, PSVR's growing pains might finally be at an end.
Sweet.
I like it. So what it's basically saying is, the PSVR, nobody ever expected it to sell millions of units in a month. Like, that's not the expectation, but Sony's about to surpass 1 million units sold for it, and that, according to this article, surpasses what they even thought by April, which is a good thing to hear. Somebody who owns the unit, somebody who is a fan of the unit and thinks it is indeed the next revolution in gaming when it comes to adding a little bit more depth to it, that makes me happy because that means developers can be on board. The other thing is that also means, it's kind of like we've talked about with the Switch, where you need to have the units to get the developers to make the games to then make the money. Because, let's be honest, it's all business. They need to make money. If they're not making money on the games, why make the game? So that makes me excited for E3 and what they're going to announce, because remember last year at E3, they said nothing. They had
now it's out. There's a lot more. Yeah, there's a lot more.
And they're starting to do a marketing push for it. And
they did say Resident Evil 7.
I mean, they said it, but it was just like, here's VR. Boom, 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 boom. Done. Next.
Yeah.
Which
what
I
they
guess
did
the whole
announce
conference
was incredible,
like that. Yeah.
but it wasn't a whole lot of like.
To spend more time on it because it wasn't out by that point, so I expected to spend a little bit more time on that.
Yeah.
But one of the things that this article quotes here is the lineup that's coming out later this year. So like you have to remember, Gran Turismo Sport is coming. You have Farpoint coming. Like these are becoming full-fledged experiences. Resident Evil just came out not too long ago. So you have these full-fledged experiences.
VR was one of the better additions to the whole VR lineup, to be honest. There's people that say that they were, and this is again mostly from r/PSVR, but they were saying that they were uncertain as to whether their purchase was worth it until they got Dirt VR.
That's kind of how I feel about with Werewolves.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. Granted, that's a smaller experience, but that's also one of the things that VR I think is really good, and there has to be, again, it's similar to how I feel about the Switch. There has to be the big games that bring people in, but then you have to have these smaller games to fill in those gaps.
Yeah.
And I think so far right now,
they're a good balance now.
Other than Resident Evil, I've not played Tomb Raider, so I can't talk about that. But other than Resident Evil, there's no true AAA experience on PSVR.
Tomb Raider's only a side thing anyway. Yes. It's not like a full on like all the way through.
I mean, I guess Arkham was made by AAA developers.
Dirt Rally VR I think counts as AAA.
That's true, but there's not very many. It's been a bunch of these like nuggets.
No,
but I feel
right,
like this year at E3, at least I hope, and again we'll do a prediction where there's going to drop.
Well, they've been saying, and I've been following a lot of these conversations by these big developers. They're saying that the AAA stuff is on the way, but just because of how difficult it is to make a VR game, they're taking their sweet time, which I think is perfectly fine. I mean, I'm totally.
I'd rather it be done right than rushed.
Than rushed, exactly.
Sorry, when you're doing your thing, I was reading that article. Because I don't pay attention.
Yeah,
but it caught my attention. I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." So, the fact that they're ahead of their expectations, because Sony said 750,000 was kind of their goal. I don't know if they've ever publicly said it, but that was like the leaked rumors of what they wanted to sell. And I was one of those guys saying they're not going to do it because there's a supply constraint and because of a few other issues. That seems to not be a problem as much. I mean, there still is issues here and there, but not as much. And I think it's now getting to the point where people are seeing the demand for it and actually meeting the demand, which means the units are going to get out there, which means more and more is going to happen. And
I think
I'm excited.
One of the glorious things about VR is it's a very proselytizing system. It's something that you cannot fully comprehend until you try it.
Yes.
So once your friend gets it and then you try it, you are instantly like, oh shit, I need one.
Yeah.
And we've had that happen with a lot of our friends. And
we've had so DJ and Amanda, right?
Yeah.
So DJ's like, I gotta get one. Amanda's like, no. David was the same way. David had to convince his girlfriend to allow him to do it. He said he did something to convince her.
It's a lot of money to get your missus on board with. Let me just say that.
But he also had her play it, and once he got it, and she's like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Like type thing.
And again, you can't get it until you try it, and once you try it, you're usually like a lifer. So it's one of those things that once you try it,
I think it's funny now because I'm at the point where, like, before, like, when it came out, I was super hyped, ready to go, and then I kind of fell off because I found my AAA games and was playing those. You got really hyped on it, and now I'm to the point where I want to go back home and put the headset on and play some of these games that I've missed, and I think it's partially because the library's there now that I can go back and, like, okay, let me pick and choose the best of these games and say, hey, I want to play this one, this one, this one.
There is a selection is nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not being in the dark on some things. And I mean, I still love my flat games, as you call them, but I'm now have gotten more and more into wanting to play VR versus before. It was a much more of a hassle to play VR. I felt like, just because
it's still a little bit of a hassle to set the whole thing up. Yes. But I think that once you actually get comfortable and everything, you're like, okay, this is worth it.
Yes.
If nothing else, for the 3D movies, I've been having a great time with those.
Yeah, I watched a few of those.
I actually bought.
I watched Rogue One in VR.
Yeah, I want to watch.
3D,
you have to watch it in 3D. You can't not.
Dude, have you watched a movie in VR that's not 3D? It's still a fucking home theater.
Yeah,
like the screen
I went to the theater
huge.
to see Rogue One, so I've already done that. I want to do it in 3D. So, all right. So, getting back to news. Shut up. So getting back to news, there's a game that fell off the map for VR that has just recently re-emerged, and it's exciting because it's a good-looking game. And that game is called Syndrome.
Never heard of it.
So I know. So Syndrome re-emerges for the PSVR. Camel 101 Syndrome was originally revealed back in 2015 with Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC releases announced, the latter of which was compatible with the Oculus Rift. Now, however, the title appears to have made the jump to PlayStation VR and is set for release next month. So there you go. So Syndrome, I'll drop the trailer in here at some point, but if you want it faster, then you can be bothered to scroll to the bottom. Just Google the trailer, and it's fantastic looking. So it's a sci-fi horror, so you'll hate it.
Yep.
But it looks like the closest version of Alien Isolation in VR yet, and that's the one thing that I want more than anything is Alien Isolation VR. But it's like,
see, I want happy fun games.
Yeah, no. give me gore. So so yes, obviously I'm a big sci-fi fan, I'm a big horror fan, and so it's sci-fi horror. You're stuck on this kind of like ship. There are like cryopods and synths, and it reeks of Alien big time. And if you watch the trailer, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But it looks fantastic. I'm really excited to try it out. And allegedly, it's supposed to be available on the 28th of April. So round about literally a month from today. So from recording. But yeah. So, Syndrome aims to take the science fiction horror genre back to its roots with the aid of virtual reality. As players wake up on a deserted spaceship, dazed and confused from a deep cryosleep, they soon discover that most of the crew are dead or have been mutated. Surrounded by reactive enemies that pick up on every move and sound, players must discover what has happened to the spaceship and how to escape its claustrophobic confines alive. So, yeah, it looks dope. It also looks like it is move-based. I couldn't give you a guarantee on that, but judging from the gameplay that's available in the demo, it does look like you have independent hands as opposed to your, what do you call it? It's your DS4. But yeah, that's Syndrome. And Syndrome is coming out here pretty soon for PlayStation VR, so I'm excited about that. Next up is Eve Valkyrie news. So Eve Valkyrie, popular game. A lot of people dig it. And this week, if you're interested, it's double XP week. So by the time you've got this, it's been going for 2 days, but it will continue through until Tuesday. So jump on into Eve if you have that game and you want to earn yourself some XP. Double XP week this week for Eve. Not much more that needs to be said about that, I thought. But, yeah, I wanted to give everyone a little heads up on that. Last bit of news here. Well, second from last bit of news. We have, there's a fun thing I wanted to tell you, but this is the last bit of, like, major news, I think, for the VR. Is, there was a media player update the other day that is designed to support 4K video on PS4 Pro and, in turn, on PSVR, which you weren't sure was entirely possible, but apparently it is.
So, 4K cannot be viewed in PSVR. It's a 1080p,
not at
2
4K.
eyes. Yes,
but it will be vastly improved.
It will. The jury's still out for me because I'm a video guy and I kind of understand how downsampling works. I think it will be a little clearer, but I don't think it'll be that big of a difference.
Okay.
It all depends on. There's a lot of factors when it comes to video, and especially in the VR atmosphere. But it all depends on like the bitrate it's shot at, the bitrate's a big one with how much data can be pushed with it. But my concern is just the resolution. I don't expect this to be like, holy crap, this looks fantastic. I think it's going to look better, but I don't expect it to have the same feeling as somebody who has seen the difference between 1080p and 4K. I'm not going to get that feeling. I think it's going to be kind of like the PS4 to the PS4 Pro when it comes to the VR headset, where like there is a noticeable difference, but it's not a holy crap noticeable difference. Okay. That makes sense?
So
versus Resident Evil 7, that was mind-blowing.
Here's the bird word. Starting later today, the Media Player app is getting... this is not later today, by the way. This is from the article. An update to support 4K video playback on PS4 Pro. Following this update, 4K videos in MP4 format saved on a USB stick or home server can be played on the Media app. Remember, you'll also need a 4K compatible TV to watch the videos in 4K. Your home server will appear as a media option in the player automatically, so finding your media is simple and quick. Just a reminder, USB storage that's already been formatted as extended storage for your PS4 can only be used to save games and apps. It can't be used to save and play videos. That's a fun little side note. For those of you that own PSVR, in addition to PS4 Pro, Media Player will also update to support playback of 4K VR video content. PSVR's display resolution is 1920 by RGB by 1080.
Do you know what RGB stands for?
Red, green, blue.
Cool.
So 4K VR videos will be displayed in a higher image quality compared to HD VR videos. Capture stunning 360-degree 4K footage and then immerse yourself in that footage in VR at home, just as if you're right back in the scene that you shot. And while on the topic of 4K, many of you have already been enjoying 4K streaming on the PS4 Pro, but in case you weren't aware, streaming video apps including Netflix, YouTube, and Hulu all have 4K content available, so make sure to check them out.
So the other thing to keep in mind too is when the PSVR came out, it was not able to push through 4K, and this is only on the PS4 Pro. If you have a regular PS4, this will not affect you. It's only PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
But the headset would downgrade it when it was on the TV. So the 4K is being passed through that little box and being true 4K to the TV, which is an important thing to remember. So that's the other part of this. Of if you wanted to get a true 4K experience before on a 4K TV, you had to unplug your PSVR box to let it go straight from the PS4 Pro.
They fixed that though, right?
I mean, this fixed it if it didn't fix it.
Right, I was going to say, because I know that someone had mentioned that this was like a big deal for one of those reasons alone.
So keep that. Yeah. So that fixes that. So if you don't have to unplug your VR headset or the little CPU, GPU box, whatever the hell it is, to get the true 4K. But
because people have been using splitters and all kinds of stuff to try and get that to work. It's kind of sucky.
Yeah.
So good news for you guys there at r/PSVR and also everyone else that you don't have to do that anymore.
No game I want to see on PSVR. I was thinking because it's on PS4 now. Subnautica, because I know it's getting Vive and Oculus support. I would love to get PSVR support. Could you imagine?
I could dig that.
I don't know how well.
I'm a big C game
make
fan,
it real
as you
sick
know.
though. So once they'd have to figure out the whatever it's called,
I'll be right.
the performance. That's the word I'm looking for.
You couldn't stutter.
Yeah,
but so that'd be
awesome.
A whole other kettle of fish. So just 2 more things to go. One piece of news and then our game. By the way, I've chosen while we've been doing
good.
this.
This is the second video in a row we've
forgotten to choose a game. So let's get through it real quick here. Aquarion EVOL is a free mech game in the Japanese store. All you need is the PS Plus trial account, which there is ways to get that. Just Google it. You'll figure it out real quick. And then you just go into the Japanese store, go to the PS Plus section, and then the special section, and you'll be all catered for there. And you can download that free game, Aquarion EVOL. But yeah, aside from that, we got our gameplay coming up. And this week we decided to play a little bit of the...
I have no idea what that is.
Ghostbusters!
Oh! That came out.
So we're going to be digging into Ghostbusters. I was like, wait. You'll get to see us play that. That's going to be fun. I'm excited. I can't wait. I love that thing. Franchise. Thank you. That's a word.
I know that word.
So, thanks a lot for watching the news portion of Level 2 VR. And we're moving now into the gameplay section where we get to play Ghostbusters. Enjoy. Bye. Dude, I'm so excited to get into this Ghostbusters VR now hiring. It was like $7. Like I don't think there could be a better option right now. Are you pumped to get in here?
I mean, I'm not a huge Ghostbusters fan, but
what?
No.
I've
seen it. I finally saw it for the first time the other day.
Everyone is a Ghostbusters fan in waiting, I think.
Bill Murray.
All right, so I'm excited anyway, so let's get going. What?
Oh. Ha. That's
what the fuck?
Licensing. Gotta love it.
So...
Another game?
Okay. Goddamn. So, Ghostbusters was a non-starter. So instead we're going to play a different type of spoopy game. And that is Dying Reborn.
Undying.
There are apparently 3 levels: Awakening Time, Get Locked Up, and The Corrupted Land. This is some kind of a weird hub world situation. I can only turn at an angle. They don't give me smooth as an option. It looks a little Resident Evil-y. Ooh, can I peek in there? So, alright. Well, it's not really a whole lot going on in here. Okay.
This music, though.
The music is really abrupt when it cuts. It's not great. I mean, I have an open mind about this. It's got a fish-headed killer.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
Which is kind of cool.
I was kind of surprised when you bought it, just for the sheer fact that I don't think it looks that good. But I also don't like horror games. So
I love horror games. I also like investigative games. These bugs are kind of sweet on the floor. I genuinely am a little bit creeped out by this. What do you think I should do, Keegan? I mean, I just can't figure out what to do next. You know,
investigate.
I'm not sure. What was that? A shabby, smelly bed. How could I lie here? I don't know. There's some gas coming out of there. That's probably not good. My clothes are on the floor. For some reason, my hand's in my pants. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Graphically, it's a step below Resident Evil, but it doesn't feel too dissimilar.
I mean, it's also a lot cheaper than Resident Evil, so keep that
for
in mind.
sure. Yeah, they didn't have the weight 20? Of Capcom behind them.
I think, right?
It's who?
$20?
Yeah. Actually, it may have been 10 or 15. Actually, because the main game is $20. I think this was 10 because the main game is a six level long flat version of the game. And this is the VR version, which has 3 of the levels in VR that I think are on the other thing. Can I do stuff here? Dirty old TV, white noise on the screen. Can I open the drawer? Oh, I can. Musty scent coming from the drawer. I can open both drawers. Well, this is useful. I can actually affect things. Oh, alright then.
Hi there. I have the headphones on. I just want to point that out. Normally when I play scary games, I don't have audio, but I have audio going in my ears right now, and
But did that scare you?
not really.
It scared me.
It's because you're a wimp. Duh. No? Okay.
Can I pick up my clothes? Candle? Bucket? Fucking hell. Oh, I didn't tell you to put down. Well, I can rotate it.
Is there anything useful on it?
It says it's affixed by one screw, but it doesn't. I guess maybe I need a screwdriver or something, because it just keeps doing that. 1845. That's a number you may have to remember. Okay. Do you think that's a hint?
Maybe.
All right. Let's find out. So I'm cold and I can't lift my leg. So apparently I need it to be hotter in here. A little nervous about this curtain. Not gonna lie.
Because someone's going to go, whoo.
Oh, of course.
Spooky things. Open it. Oh, sounds like
That wasn't good.
a bomb? Or alarm clock. Oh, it's the alarm clock. I go immediately to your beep and I'm like, oh, it's a bomb. You want to turn that off, Tom? You, there you go.
I didn't do anything. It just turned itself off. Alright. Moving on. Photo is so old you can clearly make out the people in the... You can't clearly make out the people in the picture. You can tell it's a man and a woman. This photo somehow seems familiar to me in an indescribable way. There's some whiskey there. Oh, shake. This is... Oh. A coin with a fine pattern. Okay. Well, it just looks like a tree to me. Yep, that's awesome. What do I use the coin at?
Oh.
Okay.
Not there.
Not there. I got nowhere to put the coin.
Sounds like a you problem.
There's a camera up there. Alright, well. I can't use the coin anywhere yet, so I'm not too worried about that. I can always open my inventory again. It's here, so. What else we got? Anything in here? No. Unlocked, but obviously stuck. I have to find something to pry it open with. Okay.
A coin won't do it.
Bollocks.
You need a crowbar. Even I know that.
Oh, what's that? Oh, they're just padlocks. They won't let me do nothing over here. That's right. 14 notes.
Equals a melody. Your piano's a little out of tune. I don't know if you know this. Yeah, that's not going to be it.
How do I swap to the black notes? So how do I know which 14 notes?
It's part of the puzzle, Tom. Gotta figure it out. I don't know.
Bum, bum, bum.
Mary had a little lamb.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, that was never going to work, was it? Alright, so I'm a little confused. A little concerned. It's a little fuzzy graphics-wise. Not terrible, honestly. It's not bad at all. But clearly not perfect.
Is there anything in that drawer? Have you already opened that drawer? We know we're not good at puzzles, Tom. We know we're not good at puzzles.
We're terrible at puzzles.
You're the one who want to play this game, so it's all you.
Well, no, I'm happy to play it. I just, you gotta help me out, though, man. This looks like I can get behind it. Do not waste even 1 minute. Awesome.
Well.
Oh, what's this?
Screwdriver.
Head of a screwdriver. I need one of them. I need it for
the
this.
Alarm clock. No effect. Nope.
Well, this is annoying. Maybe I have to do it from the back?
No effect.
It said I needed a screwdriver. God damn it. Maybe I can pry the drawer. My sinuses are getting to me.
No effect.
Ha! All right.
Now you get the handle, so you gotta put it together.
Ah, there we go.
Now try.
Woo! Making progress. A key. Killing it. Old rusty key. Something about a lock. Well, there's a lock here. Doesn't work on there. Don't know what's going on with that. There's no lock over there, is there? Also, I can't run.
Does the music have the piano? Does the top thing have a lock on it?
I don't think so. But this is just a chain. Like, how is it even held together? How about this door? Do you think? Maybe it's a multi-room puzzle.
That was weird. You're still walking.
Well, that's... I'm guessing the coin might work here? What did that do?
You turn something on.
The light. I hate how I can't run. Well, that's fucking great.
Did it change that screen to the above the piano? So that's the only thing you have. What was the clue on that?
Complex twisted pattern. I wonder if I have to like view it from a certain angle or something. 14 notes is a melody. Wonder if I use the coin. No effect. Brilliant. Alright, well, we were making progress. What else is good? What about the TV? Now that I've okay. Well, I know I'm not supposed to waste any minutes, which I'm already doing in spectacular fashion. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fucking stick! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 numbers on there. I was thinking about this melody trick here. Doesn't let me shut that drawer. That's weird. So far the only thing I could see that I did was turn the fucking lamp on.
Yeah, I really don't know. I'm trying to think here. But I'm not much help.
Okay, so let's look at this. So there's a yellow and red wire. We know they turned that on, which is pretty much the only thing that we do know that they do. Wait a second. 1 1 5 5 6 6 5 4 4 3 3 2 2 1. Is it fucking Twinkle Twinkle Little Star?
Might be. Sounds like it.
I played that shit! What do I have to do? Like... That's definitely it! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, maybe I have to turn the thing on.
Yeah, I don't get how you're reading that right there.
You don't get it?
No, I don't see.
It's like stretched. Do you think I just magically know how to play that song?
No, I know that's not the truth. Trust me. I'm well aware that you probably don't know how to play that song.
Yeah, so if you look, imagine it stretched. So that's like a 1. Do you see how it's like a 1?
Yeah.
And then another 1. And then imagine that like a 5. So it says 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5,
no.
4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1.
I see the ones.
You can just see it. Like if you look at it like... Maybe it's just, it doesn't translate.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't tell what that is.
Ha!
Bolt cutters.
Ooh!
Bolt cutters are always useful.
Bolt cutters for the bolt. You can't hold me in your sore room. Boom! Sucker!
You gonna pinch it? Pinch it off, Tom. Well.
Let a motherfucker in. Rusty metal box. Well, the only thing I have left is this. Does this work? Yep. Ugh. Alright, so I need a 3. Ah, paper that says minute written on it. What does this mean? Okay, alright, alright. So there's gotta be something else I can put it on.
I don't know what.
Well, I'm looking for something that it looks to be a part of. I think we're done here.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we're done over here, unless maybe... Oh, oh, what about on here? No. No.
I feel like that finger's pointing to the room. Okay,
Yeah.
check there.
We already tried that one. Wait a second. Trying to see if I could get a no. Oh, that was weird. Any guesses?
No. I honestly don't know. Like,
You're useless.
I know, I don't puzzle. I mean, that's funny because I love puzzlers, but...
Box. Okay.
Well, there's nothing in the room.
Do not waste even one.
One? Nope, doesn't go there. So it goes to F. Eat. Eat. It's a word. Dat.
Dat ass. At this point, I'm just doing three-letter I'm just doing three-letter words.
I can tell.
Okay, this is bullshit. There's got to be an answer around here somewhere. So I got this piece of paper. This piece of paper isn't really letting me do anything with it. It doesn't seem to attach to anything. It definitely doesn't burn. Doesn't turn around. I gotta say though, the puzzle so far is, I'm having fun. I feel like it's so there's these rooms in Resident Evil that are like puzzle rooms, and oh, hello, decrepit mannequin. Yeah, it seems like a fun place to. What if I? No. There's these puzzle rooms that you go through that are one of the more fun parts of the game, and so it's kind of neat to do that. Okay, I'm definitely struggling a little bit at this point. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna get through this level. Escape rooms are fun. 14 notes is a melody. I played Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I got my melody. Can't pick the bottle up anymore. Can't do anything with the light. Alright, maybe I have to turn the power off. No.
You know, power doesn't affect candles. I seriously don't know.
You could be potentially looking for help here.
Nah.
Just as a heads up to you.
Nah. I don't know where my phone is. There it is.
Oh, yikes. Okay. I seem to be at somewhat of a dead end. I don't want to give up yet. I am readjusting this headset, though. People at home! Help! Nothing in either of these.
First thing you do is grab the umbrella off the wall after you wake up.
What, motherfucker? I can't grab this umbrella.
Open the curtain and examine the alarm clock. Go over the table, the bottle, rotate around until it's face down. Proceed to shake the bottle before it drops to the floor.
It doesn't let me grab it. It just says it's an umbrella.
Head over to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Use the bolt cutters, cut the thing. Place the coin in the emergency box. If you try to get out of the door, you'll find it's locked. The screen will shake and painting will fall. Go over the painting with a screwdriver. Lodge in the painting. Head over to the desk. Use it to open the middle drawer to take the screwdriver handle. Combine the screwdriver. Light the lamp. The minute. 2 pieces of paper have minute and hours. So, turn on the light switch and the lamp on the desk will turn on. A piece of paper is under the lampshade. Take it. There's 1 piece of paper on the wall. Take it. 2 pieces have minute and hours. You'll need to place these pieces of paper in the right order on the emergency escape box. The paper should look...
Fuck off.
Paper should look like the following image.
Alright, so where am I putting these?
In the escape box.
In this thing?
Yeah.
What a fucking joke.
We need to put in the alphabet code to escape from the saw room. I won't tell you what the code is. It's even figured out.
Oh, here you go.
Yep.
Time is the key to liberation. Minute goes before hours. Okay. So the time, like over here, is it what, 1845? So 45:18, I don't get it. Oh, 456? Because 18 is 6, right?
Oh, this is clever. I don't think you're going to get this, but this is real clever.
So that's 4. So this next one would be E.
Yeah. Well, maybe you will get it.
And then this would be F.
No.
Or
What's
R.
the 18th? Yeah. There you go.
I don't know how to...
You'll need to put dir. Proceed to look at the TV to see the quick cinematic sequence.
I'm so sorry to see you here. You must have been trapped there. I can only talk to you in this way, but I will help you leave.
Shirley?
And then you're going to end up in the second room.
Who trapped me here?
Shirley? No.
Surely you can't be serious.
No. Otherwise, somebody. Oh,
What the hell is going on? Where's Shirley?
I don't have much time. We need to protect us. The exit is on the second floor. Leave now, quickly.
Hold on! Don't go! What's going on? I have to find Shirley as soon as possible and get her out of this place.
World-class voice acting going on here.
Yeah.
Alright. Can I leave now? Oh, there we go.
Room 102? Thought we locked up in here. What's that on the floor? Letter.
Matthew.
Wait a minute. Isn't this the letter that was sent to me? Yeah. It's the exact same letter Shirley sent me asking for help. Here. Dear Matthew,
It says, "Dear brother."
please hurry.
It doesn't even say the same thing on the letter that he sent.
Last card. Remember. Wall Street. I was looking down at the map. And out of this weird room. This is photos.
It's weird they spell Matthew with one T.
She and I are the only one. Anyway, she must be in trouble now.
Okay.
Please be okay. Who's there? What's happening to me?
Really, though.
So cold.
Will you shut the fuck up and let me finish this game?
There you go.
Is that it? Is that room done?
That room's done.
Man. I'm not mad about it. You know, it was the puzzles were a little fiendish in places, but I got to play some songs and stuff. I'm not mad about it. I thought it was okay. There's only 3 of these types of levels, and that was not very long. How long were we going?
Half an hour.
30 minutes level. I'm assuming they get harder.
Yeah.
So for $10, hard to argue. It's not terrible. If you like escape the room games and you like VR, it's not the most polished game. They definitely, like, it doesn't look that bad graphically. Like, there's Last Harbor. See, maybe I have to get in here somehow. Like, graphically, it's not that bad. But the story's half decent. They kind of threw you in the middle of it a little bit. They didn't really explain any of the Shirley stuff until it was, like, too late. But yeah, it's not. Don't dismiss it outright. Like a lot of these stuff, it's not too terrible. I enjoyed my time with it, and assuming that it continues in the same fashion, I wouldn't say it's that bad.
Cool.
There you go. Dying Reborn VR, cheap game. Escape the room, bit of horror. Didn't see anything that really scared me too much, except for that very first the grate coming down. But good time.
All right. So, with that, thank you guys so much for watching.
And as always,
Welcome to the second level.
bye.
It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level.